Welcome to the Light and Love Box channel. You are part of a growing community bringing peace, possibility, and prosperity to help transform our world with light and love. My name's Tracy Anderson,
And my name is Joe Courier.
and today we have Ana Cortez with us, and she is the author of The Doors of Somlipith, among many other things. But anyway, welcome, Ana.
So great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us again because we love doing this with you.
It's fun. I know, I love it too.
So today we are going to be talking about the gate cards that are leading us to the card we actually drew for this next full moon box. And for those of you who might not be aware, we actually, as a group, we drew cards for these 13 boxes that are part of this collection. And the card that was drawn for this box was the Seven of Diamonds, which is Gwaine. So this,
Nine of diamonds.
or nine, sorry, Nine of Diamonds, Nine of Diamonds, and this is Gwaine. And what is kind of interesting is there is a lot of sword energy in these cards that lead up to Gwaine. And the rune that actually is for this box is Esau. And it is a very simple rune. I'm going to try to make it so everyone can see it. It's just a line straight up and down.
So in essence, kind of a sword without a
Yeah,
without the
exactly.
hilt.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The rune Esau is really related to stillness. And it's also that connection between the divine and earth. So when I was looking at these gate cards, it's really interesting how that theme played out, to me at least, in that whole
Sequence?
Yeah, sequence is a good word. So, Anna, I would love to kind of hear your perspective on the Four of Spades, the Five of Spades, and the Six of Spades, like that sequence, because that that gate is very earth
hmm
bound. It's very heavy in the earth realm. So,
Maybe we should back up just a tiny bit though and explain if they haven't listened before, what are the gate cards and how do they connect? And why are they spades when the card is a diamond?
Right. So gate cards are um, cards within the playing card deck that act as timekeepers. They are guardians of time, and I'm gonna get my clock off the wall. I just find it's so nice to have this discussion with a visual. So this is an astrological clock, and so so the you probably can't see, so I'll just generalize here. But the astrology wheel is here, and the playing card notations are inside of it. So through the playing cards, we align with natural astrological time.
mhm.
And these cards correspond to fixed positions around us, the astrology wheel, just like the astrological signs are in fixed positions. And it
So
just
they're also repeating then, is that correct, Anna?
each year it starts over each cycle. So every card is, and it's the lower numbered cards. It's the cards ace through 9. So they help align us with natural time, and it's part of a new way of working with playing cards that actually connects to the really old ways of using astrology. So I think it's really I just think there's a world of possibility there, and it's all in the Doors of Somlipith book. But the 4, 5, and 6 are the Trinity, and I don't have my 6 here. I'm looking for it. Are the Trinity of cards. Thank you. Here, we'll put
There you go. There you go. They're all together now.
okay. Are the Trinity of cards that make up Taurus. And Taurus, we know, is an earth sign, and it's fixed. So it's what you guys were talking about, Joe, with that deep earth energy, that really solidified earth energy. And we see these symbols on the cards helping to illustrate or bring forward what some of the sort of nuances of those dynamics are.
Well, when you look at the 4, 5, and 6 kind of in that procession,
Yeah.
what's your perception of that procession?
Well, I think if you look at it as a procession and you contemplate the meanings of the cards and how they feed into each other or create that sort of stairway of energetics, I think that is an important exercise for each person
Mhm.
to undertake. I think that's where the self-discovery takes place. But you have like a really strong wind of the north here, so it's a cold, strong force that can be very unsettling if we're not prepared for it, or it
Mhm.
can just move you very strongly into new possibilities if you are prepared for it. So
Mhm.
again, I think it has to be an individual process, and then it proceeds or moves into the 5, the next card in the sequence, the impotent king. you know he is very entrenched in this throne of wood that he's sitting in, and he um could be seen as resisting change, you know, because 5s are cards of change. But in the earth suit, it can be, you know, very comfortable to stay in old patterns,
Mhm.
right? We can be this impotent king. We can become ensconced in our physicality, our habits of being. And so I think this really offers a challenge to each person. And to not make change just to make change either. I mean, there's a lot going on in that card. So the wind blows us into this place where, are we going to stay where we're at, or are we going to make a change?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I couldn't help but wonder, the 4 of spades, the wind. I think in your book you mentioned that you must endure the 4 of spades to proceed to the 5.
Yes.
And to me, when you look at the combination between these cards and the rune, it reminds me of the process we undergo when, because we're all souls, eternal souls having a human experience.
Mhm.
Almost like that wind, that forceful wind that's moving us from that state of, the beyond
Mhm.
coming into the earth realm to have that
Mhm.
human experience.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so then that's that movement from the divine to the earth. And that's that rune kind of playing into that procession of
Mhm.
cards.
I love that.
I feel like this 5, when you look at it, from a rune Nordic standpoint, okay, everything is shown as a tree. So all the realms kind of connect around the tree, underneath the roots, the leaves,
The
everything, the
branches. Yep.
branches, everything is a realm, and the tree connects the realms. And
Interesting.
and in the center is the tree. And that is actually Midgard, so that's the earth realm. And so I think it's interesting that in this card, the tree is then connected also with the spade. And it's like that is our human experience that we're having here on earth.
I love
And
it.
and that constant flow between the realms, going in and through us and helping us keep that connection. The other thing, there's like this kind of shadowy
Hmm.
Like a
being.
like a hood,
Y-
almost like a hood, but it's a being.
yeah. And it's like when I was contemplating this card, it's like that is our it's almost like our struggle that we have with our ego.
Nice.
And one of the things with that, the 5 is it's that fear of the unknown, it's limitation, being so needing to know the known, being
Mhm.
entrenched in it. You use the word
Mhm,
entrenched, and that feels very
mhm,
um true to the experience that we all have. And but on the flip side, it's also opportunity. So
Mhm.
um I don't know, it's that struggle with the ego that we have. And then very interestingly, the very next card is the ruin.
Right.
And that is all about our past lives.
Mhm.
And like the stones, you say they're memories. Well, that can be memories that are past lives and all these things, and that castle almost becomes us,
Mhm.
right?
mhm,
And you say that as the bricks break, it releases those memories. And I just find it very, very, very interesting that that's the next card, because so many of those things that happen from past lives are, or even in this life, it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
subconsciously control us.
Yeah, it's subconsciously.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And so then 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 the very next card is the Sword of Enchantment, which is
Oh, no. Oh, right. Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, the
Yeah,
7.
we moved to clubs.
Yep,
That's
the 7 of clubs. So basically, we've looked at the gate cards from one full moon to the next full moon.
yes.
Right. So that moves us out of Taurus and into that next section. But it's like that's the hope. That card is the hope, because it's like our gift to then overcome those past life challenges or obstacles or things that we're encountering in this life that are stopping us from
mhm.
moving forward. And it's like this magical force that comes to our aid, and of course it's a sword. Right? So I think it's really interesting to see that progression from that light, in my mind anyway, at least.
I love the way you illustrated it with your dialogue there. That's great. That's the journey this month.
Yeah, and then of course we drew Gawain, so I think that even further, I don't know, it's like that triumph, that victory that we are going to have, and it's like divine intervention.
Totally is. And I love the sword of enchantment in the club suit. To me, that becomes Gawain's sword or merges with the sword we see on him because he's fire element and he's And that's an air sign sword. And it just, I mean, if you want to go like my mind goes, like they're compatible. So it
Right.
becomes a sword. Yeah. His sword becomes an enchanted sword to set us free from past limitations.
I love it.
Yep.
That's
Limiting
awesome.
beliefs, perhaps.
And
Mhm.
what?
Limiting beliefs.
Yes,
Mhm.
very much.
But a
Mhm.
sword actually, to me, is held by someone like Gawain the knight, not to be used without first pausing in that stillness and realizing, if I
Mm.
do use this, what are the consequences? Is there a way to accomplish what needs to be done, doing something differently perhaps? Or do I need to stand up for what it is that is right and moral and
Mhm.
just?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
you have the time, right, in Taurus to sort of define what your struggles are and what you want to release and what you want to keep.
Yeah. And choosing how to release them. You
Mm.
could release them and, just go on this rampage, or you can release them and gently cut things away. And
Mhm.
so it has both aspects, I think.
mhm.
Mhm. Totally agree.
Mhm. And I love that this is in Taurus, because Taurus is that earth sign. And when I look at the five of spades and the impotent king, he's almost digging his heels in. He's pushing against the earth because the change that north wind is bringing him, he's not sure about. He's still feeling like the old ways, the old things that need to be done are the things that are guiding him. And that unfamiliarity, it going into the ruin for me, um, it's as if those old patterns become that structure.
Mm.
One. You it
Yeah,
still is there, but it doesn't have any of the integrity that it once did. So you
right.
have to move away from it.
Doesn't have the life force, the the future that, yeah. Yeah, it's a place of comfort as well, just like that king is, you know, set in certain ways that have served him in the past and that have provided a sense of security in the past, and I think this is a big challenge for earth signs in general.
And the
It's
other aspect to that
security. Mhm.
is, if there is someone who is a king or a queen, they are in this position to dictate change in some way. And this goes for not just authority figures, but any authority. You have to realize that you can change as that authority, that king, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy for all of those that are affected by that change. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of resistance coming towards that person or that
Mhm.
authority, because change often creates a lot of turmoil.
A lot of domino effect.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And a lot of chaos,
Yeah.
because we're trying to settle that dust and figure out, okay, what is the right thing to do, or the new norm, or how to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times, like if you go through a time where you're making changes, right? You're freeing yourself,
Mhm.
and it almost exposes like other like the way that something used to
Mhm.
happen and interact. It kind of exposes that, so then whoever you're interacting with, it almost forces them to have to also
It does.
change
It
because
does.
the norm has been
Mhm. And they're not
changed.
sure how to react
Mhm.
because your norm is not what they're getting.
Boy,
Right.
is that a big topic. I think a lot of people are undergoing a lot of change in their identity, what they want in their lives, and things are moving so quickly,
Mhm.
that these questions are coming up. and it's almost hard to stay how you were.
I think energetically, we are each being nudged and pushed into changing how
Mm,
we are. And
mm,
in part, I think that's the beauty of doing a process like this, taking the light and love box and moving through it, because then it's almost as if you harness that energy within yourself and you allow yourself personally and intrinsically to begin to make those
Mhm.
changes so that the things outside of ourselves don't seem as difficult or challenging.
Mhm.
mhm. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, that's the beauty of the healing process.
Yes, it is.
While it might be hard to go through and to do on the other side, it's
Mhm.
always so much better.
And to have a structured way of making those steps.
Mhm.
I think that's what most people don't know. They flounder, they're lost because they don't know what to do or how to do. They're afraid to
Right.
get it wrong.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And a guided process, a guided opportunity to shift within and then without, outside of themselves, that's what we bring.
Mhm.
Clarity, really, you know? It's
Mhm.
like so many times I hear people in this kind of work saying how, what they're hearing or getting from the cards or reading is confirmation of something that they had, a knowing that they already had, but they doubted it, and that it was lost in a sea of other things that was going through their mind and confusion, and it
Mhm.
just helps to um, for them to recognize what's coming from their own inner voice, and
Mhm.
then they make the decisions. And yeah.
And I know we've talked about it before, but the empowerment that comes from within is not something that we are um, asked to do very often anymore. I mean, we are always told to look outside of ourselves for
Mhm.
another expert, but
Right.
we we've moved away from trusting our instincts, from trusting
Mhm.
our gut, and from the acknowledgement that, yeah, it may not be the way everybody else does something, but it is right for me individually, as long as it does not cause harm.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, that's so big. Yeah, all our media, all our society really is just pulling us out again and again and again.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think processes like the rituals and the cards and all of those things that help us retune back inside,
Mhm.
really so, so, so important right now.
It's almost like, in some respects, I'm seeing things as a lost art. So,
Yeah.
we have a friend who is from Peru, and much of the knowledge that he has, much of the plant knowledge that was in places like Peru, it has been lost. And there's no one to gather it again. So we
Mhm.
need to hold on to it while we can and to trust all of the things that we know inside of ourselves are those guiding posts, guiding lights for us.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, we need it now more than ever.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think every generation says that. Because we need to get back to that space where we can say, "Oh, I'm so glad we did that."
Well, what else is in the new ritual box this month? I can't wait.
Go ahead.
Can you can you leak a little? I mean, is it, or does it have to stay secret still?
There's a lot of earthiness this
Yes.
time.
Mm.
There is a lot of earthiness. So there is plants. There are going to be flowers. There's
Mhm.
going to be a lot of aspects of nature that
Mhm.
comes in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Salt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Salt.
Crystals. Yeah.
Nice.
Now, I do want to say, shaman quartz is coming,
Mm.
and that is one of the stones that we actually well, crystals, I should say. I don't want the geologists coming after me.
No.
Oh no.
They're interchangeable. Every
Crystal.
crystal is a stone. Every stone is a crystal. So it's all good, Tracy.
So we actually drew shaman quartz with the rune Esau.
Okay.
Now, anyone that might be listening to this that is very knowledgeable of runes would be like, why were there crystals in your bag of runes? Okay,
Sorry.
what have you done? Well, I had a really crazy experience where I saw a flash that the realms needed to intermingle and commingle with my runes. That the energy from those realms increases the communication and the potency of that communication in this realm.
So that they're not separate,
Right.
but they work in harmony.
Yes.
Wait, you're talking about realms in the rune tradition.
Yes. So
In the
there's
Nordic
yeah, in the
tradition.
Nordic tradition. So there's 9 realms. So
Okay.
in my bag of runes, I have crystals. I do have some coral and some other pieces of natural items that represent the realms. So this actually is the earth realm represented in my bag of runes.
Okay.
So this is incorporated into the box that
Nice.
is coming out, because this actually was something we
Mhm.
drew, but it's amazing the synchronicities that
Mhm.
that came out, and it lines up to the gate cards. I don't know, like you just can't plan some of this stuff, you know.
And the Taurus energy that it also
Mhm.
aligns with. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, and just shaman's quartz anyway.
To see it.
Oh, here. It's kind of hard to see. Like you don't get to see all the flecks of things that shine in here. It's hard. So
It's quartz that actually has encapsulated pieces of the earth, if you will. So there may be dirt. There may be, like, chloride is sometimes considered part of a shaman's quartz because that's another element. So it's got dirt and grit inside of it.
but the shaman's quartz, so it is a very powerful grounding crystal, but at the same time it's connecting you to those higher dimensions, higher aspects of ourselves. So it's very fitting with that energy of the rune just in of itself, and then these cards, it all just came together in this very intense and beautiful uh, unfolding.
Mhm.
It,
Yep.
I don't even really know how else to put it.
And then you write the story. You see all those connections, Tracy, and then you write a story that sort of weaves and incorporates all these different cards and elements and runes, and then you put that into the light and love box just so people know
Hmm.
what
Yeah,
is in there.
it's funny you say that. I brought mine today, and we have it so you can collect all the pieces of the story. It's this beautiful handmade leather
Journal.
journal essentially, but you can collect all your pieces of the story in there. And like I've even rituals that I've
Nice.
done, I put the pictures with it, and I don't know, like I'm kind, I've got all my crazy notes.
Love it. I love it. I love seeing your journal. That's so cool.
So there's a lot of backstory, is what I don't think everybody realizes, because Tracy is given the gift with each of these ceremonies, these rituals that are brought to her, that she can kind of feel the energy, and it's like you
Mhm.
almost see the connections, and then it unfolds like the gate cards, and everything aligns. But to try to explain that to everyone would be almost like a novelette. It would be a story in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh it's interesting, like, as I'm, you know, we're like 2 years roughly into this process, and I feel like as as I'm growing and as I'm kind
Mhm.
of moving forward, I don't know if you would agree with this, but it feels like, um, it always used to come to me in dreams, and now, like, I'll be doing something, and all of a sudden, it's like I get, like, this crazy flash, like a shift, like I go somewhere else,
Mhm.
and I see what I need to see, and then I come back.
Sometimes that could be described as a shamanic shift. You are changing your state of consciousness.
Huh, well, whatever's happening, it's different and it's changing and it's growing. So, just like, the rituals are helping you grow, change, heal, it's like that background process is even changing also.
Mhm.
So, it's interesting. So,
I'm so
It's
in love with the what you guys do and your process and your sincerity, and that's why I just was so like just so happy to partner with you guys.
Thank you.
yes,
Yeah.
this has been amazing.
It seems very like it just fits like it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
Hmm. Expect miracles. Expect miracles. Expect miracles.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining us, for taking the time to.
Pleasure. My pleasure. So happy to connect with you guys. Keep in touch this way. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are watching, if you would like to kind of dig deeper into this topic, please feel free to click the links below so that you can subscribe and actually get this next box coming out. It's going to be an exciting one. And also, please subscribe and like the channel so that you can get notified when we release new videos each month.
And comment down below whatever questions you guys have. We'd
Yes, please.
love to have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was actually thinking about that. And I would love to have people start putting their ritual experience
Yes.
Mm,
into the comments because,
mm.
like, I just recently did the last ritual. I was just a few days off of the full moon, but man, was it an intense experience. And I would love to just kind of see what other people experienced and just kind of start talking about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Opinions are always great. We love the commentary and the stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'd love to join in those conversations too. Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Oh, that was the wrong button, guys.
You